Good afternoon, everyone. I am Nelsie Bacanta, and I will be the first reporter for our group. So our report is all about planetary science. Planetary science, it is a scientific study of planets and their planetary systems, which includes moons, rings, systems, gas clouds, and magnetosphere. So who is the father of planetary science? So he is Gerard Kuiper, 1905 to 1973, discovered the moon Miranda of Uranus and Nereid of Neptune, and also predicted the existence of what is now known as Kuiper Belt, and played a key role in the exploration of planetary atmosphere. His work laid the foundation of the modern planetary science. Okay, let us move on to the key areas of planetary science. So number one is we have the planet formation and evolution. So planets form from protoplanetary disk around young stars. So protoplanetary disk, muna siya ka ng raw material sa formation sa planets. So here, I have the step-by-step explanation for the formation of the planets. So when a star forms, it is surrounded by a rotating cloud of gas and dust called the solar nebula. As the star collapses, the nebula flattens into this shape with the star at its center. So muna siya gitawag ng palangkuan. Protoplanetary disk. Itong solar nebula, pag collapse sa solar nebula, na-flatten siya, muna siya gitawag ng protoplanetary disk. Step 2 is the disk evolution. So the protoplanetary disk is initially very hot and dense, with temperatures ranging from hundreds of thousands of Kelvin. Over time, the disk cools and spreads out, with the gas and dust particles starting to stick together. So meaning, mahalang protoplanetary disk evolves, dito din siya mag-start to stick together ang mga kalang dust and particles. Wala siyang suot sa formation sa kuan. And then step 3 is planetesimal formation. As the disk continues to evolve, this stuck together particles grow into a larger bodies called planetesimals. These planetesimals can range in size from a few kilometers to hundreds of kilometers in diameter. So step 4 is diffusion and growth. Planetesimals collide and merge, growing larger and more massive through a process of accretion. So this process can lead to the formation of planetary embryos, which are large enough to dominate the surrounding disk material. So pinagi sa accretion, nagatunto ang mga planetesimals mag-collide sila together, so makaform na siya ang planetary embryos. Step 5, planetary differentiation. So the planetary embryos continue to grow, they undergo a differentiation, right? Heavy elements like iron and nickel sink to the center, while lighter materials like silicates rise to the surface. So wala na natin kitawagan na ang terrestrial planets and gas and ice giants planets. So katong terrestrial planets mo to sila katong po ang nasa like ng 3 layers, it's like core, mantle, and crust. So the final step is the final planetary formation. So after millions of years, the planetary embryos have grown to full-fledged planets, with their final masses and composition determined by the available disk material and the processes that occurred during their formation. So muna siya ang basic outline sa planet formation. So the second one is we have the planetary interiors. So for the planetary interiors, so maka-mention kayo na about the terrestrial planets, which are the Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. They have solid surfaces and layers, structures, which are the core, mantle, and crust. And also for the gas giants such as Jupiter and Saturn, and ice giants Uranus and Neptune, they lack solid surfaces and they have thick atmosphere surrounding their cores. So now we'll be discussing about the planetary atmosphere. So this will be considering the distance and the composition of the planet. So for example, the Earth. Earth contains a nitrogen oxygen atmosphere in where it supports life. Next will be the Mars and the Venus. So Mars and Venus contains carbon-rich atmosphere resulting to runaway greenhouse gases. So next will be the gas giant planets. So these planets contain helium, hydrogen, atmosphere, and where it explains why Jupiter has this phenomenon called as red hot bomb. Next will be the surface geology. So we will be talking about the tectonic, the volcanism, and more. So in here, the craters that are very visible.
Hi, I'm Crystal Jane Bacalat, and today I'm going to talk about the magnetosphere, exoplanetary science, the Mercury, Sun, and the solar system. Magnetosphere is like a shield around the Earth created by magnetic field. And this shield protects us from the harmful charged particles from the sun or the solar wind. Exoplanetary signs and thousands have been discovered. Some lie in habitable zone where conditions might support water, liquid, and life. So solar system is a collection of celestial objects that orbit around our star, the sun. So the sun is massive that produce light and heat influencing the planetary climate. So let's talk about the Mercury. Mercury is the smallest planet in our solar system. Mercury does not have any moons nor rings, and its gravity is really weak. So it is difficult to capture and hold onto any object that might have come close enough to become moon. Mercury has a very thin exosphere composed of oxygen, sodium, hydrogen, helium, and potassium. And its movement, it rotates slowly, and it takes up to 59 days for its full rotation.
Today we're going to discuss about Venus. Venus has no moons, no rings, and no intrinsic magnetic field, but it has an induced magnetosphere due to solar wind interaction. Its movements, it rotates slowly in opposite direction, and it takes 243 Earth days to have one day in Venus, and also 225 Earth days to achieve 1 year in Venus. It have a thick atmosphere with sulfuric acid clouds and a dense carbon dioxide rich atmosphere. And next is Earth. Earth has one natural satellite or a moon, and it is also called Luna. It has no rings. It has strong magnetosphere that protects the Earth from solar and cosmic radiation, and have a water vapor clouds in the troposphere. Earth is also called a Goldilocks planet, and it has a magnetic field that protects it from solar winds and cosmic radiation. Then we will go to Mars. Mars has two natural satellites, namely Phobos and Deimos. Phobos, which means phobia or fear, and Deimos stands for terror. It has no rings, but in the possible distant future, Phobos might form into a ring. It has no global magnetic field, but it has localized crustal magnetic fields existing. Gas clouds, it has occasional dust storms and thin clouds of carbon dioxide and water ice. It is also called as the red planet, and Mars takes 687 Earth days to orbit the Sun. It has the largest volcano in the solar system, named Olympus Mons, and a massive canyon system called Valles Marineris.
Good day everyone, my name is Jundi Compos. So I was assigned to report the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th planet. So let's start with the 5th. So it is Jupiter. Jupiter has a total of 95 plus moons, with only 4 notable, which is the Lu, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto. So its rings was present, faint dust rings, and Jupiter has a magnetosphere. So its magnetosphere was extremely powerful, which is considered as the most powerful in the entire solar system. So each gas cloud was thick atmosphere with ammonia and water clouds. So Jupiter was also known for its extensive auroras. So it usually rage at night, so it can be seen when you are in the surface of the planet. So next was, Jupiter was also known for its great red spot, so a massive storm that has been raging for centuries. So this red spot was massive storm which was raging for almost endless. So from the start, the planet was being formed. Maybe this red spot was already present. So we'll proceed to its fastest rotation. So Jupiter has recorded of one span in just 10 days. So we'll proceed to the 6th planet, the Saturn. So Saturn has a total of 146 moons with just 3 notable, which is the Titan, followed by Enceladus and Rhea. So the Saturn's ring was most prominent in the system, so composed of ice and rock. Its magnetosphere was strong though weaker than Jupiter, so its gas cloud with thick atmosphere with ammonia and methane. So it has methane, so it is considered as methane clouds. So it has occasional storms, but not as harsh or harsh as Jupiter. So Saturn was also famous for its great white spots. So a massive storm that occurs roughly every 30 Earth years, spanning the planet's northern atmosphere. So Saturn's axis is tilted at 27 degrees. So the seventh planet, which is the Uranus. So Uranus has a total of 27 plus moons, with the notable of Titania, Oberon, and Miranda. So it rings with a fluorescent, dark, and faint ring. Its magnetosphere was tilted at offset form or from its rotational axis, creating unusual interactions. So this interaction was commonly seen when you are in the planet's surface. So gas clouds. Its gas cloud was methane clouds, which is giving it the blue color. So as what you can see, Uranus was a blue planet. So it's primarily because of the methane clouds. So and it has seasonal storms also. So it's extreme tilt, rotating on its side at a 98 degrees angle. So another thing about Uranus was it is the coldest planet, I guess. So it has a cold atmosphere with a freezing negative 224 degrees Celsius. And that's all for my part. The next reporter will continue the rest.
Okay, so the next planet or the 8th planet of our solar system is the Neptune. So Neptune has 14 moons. It has faint and clumsy rings. It is strong and tilted, similar to Uranus. It has methane-rich clouds, high-speed winds, and large storms like the Great Dark Spot. It also has the strongest winds in the solar system, reaching up to 1,200 miles per hour. It takes about 165 Earth years to complete one orbit around the Sun. So, there are two main types of planets based on their composition and characteristics. The two main types of planets are the terrestrial planets and the gas giant planet. So, terrestrial planets have rocky, dense, and solid surfaces and layered structures, the core, mantle, and crust. So terrestrial planets, are also known as rocky planets or telluric planets, are planets composed primarily of silicate rocks or metals. They are characterized by their solid surfaces in contrast to the gas giants in our solar system. The four inner planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, are classified as terrestrial planets. So next is the gas giant planets. So gas giant planets lack solid surfaces and have thick atmospheres surrounding dense cores. So gas giant planets are a type of giant planet composed mainly of hydrogen and helium. They are characterized by their immense size and lack of solid surfaces. Instead, they possess a swirling gaseous atmosphere that extends deep into their interiors. In our solar system, Jupiter and Saturn are prime examples of gas giants. Why planetary science matters? It helps us understand Earth's climate and geological history. It also guides the search for extraterrestrial life and supports space exploration and future human missions to the Moon, Mars, and beyond. Again, we are the Group 4, and that would be all. Thank you.